Good morning, guys. Hope you're having a great day. I had my SPX chart open and I was just reading it yesterday. I waited for one scalp, right? In between, I did not want to get caught in calls here that yes, a huge rally is going to happen. I know Powell came on and then, they said a 25 basis point, um, right? But again, for me, it was still wasn't confirmed how the market might react because there's resistance at each point. Those that call scalps, congrats. And if you caught this continuous move, that's huge. Congrats. Some of the guys in our voice chat, they caught it, right? So that's pretty impressive. But me, I was personally waiting for this zone at 44.20 because 43.80 was still an iffy zone for me. It could have gone up or down. This is an hourly chart, by the way, that I have open here. So we are clearly at the resistance that, and the only number that matters today again is 43.80. All right, so 43.80 is still the number that matters. If we hold above 43.80, we shift higher, right? And don't forget, we have Powell again today. He's on again today. So just keep that in mind. And if he doesn't say anything, does not. I don't think he's going to say much, but it might be a quiet day for him or maybe something. But let's see how that helps the markets. All right, I have no idea right now, but I'm just going to wait for it to grind a little bit higher. Maybe take some put scalps for a $1-2 move on SPY or SPX, which will pay up huge, right? Playing the call side right now will be more of a gut feeling that yeah, it's going to go up, but I'd rather just wait until it hits a certain strong resistance point, because in this market to get through resistance right through is very hard. All right, the stock usually stalls there for a bit, and that's when you can make a lot of money. All right, so 43.80 is still the most important number on SPX. This is not my number or anything. This is just backed by the volatility trigger, but with options, with the open positions and whatnot. All right, just keep that in mind. So 43.80, my first level for scalp. Once SPX reaches 44.20, roughly in this above zone right here. If you guys go back on the 17th February, if you guys go on 17th Feb, you'll see that 11:30, 12, the intraday of February 17th, 11:30, 12 o'clock prices basically. So that's where I'm looking to take my first, because that's when where the major selling accelerated again. All right, don't forget this selling that accelerated. So SPX to go right through it, it really has to poke above it like strong and hold, or maybe it fails later on. So 44.20 is an opportunity, in my opinion, where we can probably take a scalp. All right. And if I go on Qs, similar thing, similar action if you pay attention. I'm just going on the daily chart to share some stuff. I'll remove my drawing. The death cross happened now. The only question here is, does the 50 MA take over the 200 MA in the coming days and make it a golden cross, like a quick death cross to a golden cross? Can something like this happen, right? So here we are the 200, can it curl back up the 50 and then 200 stays below, right? Then that will be considered really bullish for the market, or if that happens. It hasn't happened yet, if that happens. But me personally, that this is a nice little leg up in this market is great. But I'm just waiting until Qs get to this level around 355, 360. I think then we see for the FOMC what happens. Now, if you read the Gamma report today, I think it's very good to go through the Gamma report once or twice a day. It helps with your decision making. Like, you guys are all probably technical experts now. You guys have learned a lot from LB from Postmarket. He shows you great tricks on this, right? For scalping any of the admins, we try to share the best of what we know. People out there usually don't share what they know, right? But we still give out whatever we know, all right? But it's up to you to execute with your own understanding of the market. And SPX here, just know this one thing: oil almost hit a 14-year high. 14-year high. All right, that's something to take into consideration. Don't be blinded by this rally and just think it's gonna go up. I may be wrong, but that's something you need to know. Even here, people were super bullish right here. People were super bullish here, if you guys remember this day. If you remember, people were super bullish here, and what happened? The market just took a dump, and they were even more bullish when the market reached here, and then the market took a dump again, right? So don't get caught here on a green candle, become all bullish, and when the market watch list is all green, and then the market dumps, right? And I'm not asking you to be a bear either. All I'm saying is just manage your emotions on these candles. Be realistic. We're traders at the end of the day. If we get the move to the upside, we play to the upside. If we get the downside, we play the downside. It's simple as that, right? And if you're uncertain, if you don't know what's really going to happen, you're unsure of what's going to happen, then be patient, right? I've been, I don't know what was going to happen many times in these candles, so I stayed patient. I just stayed on the sidelines. There's nothing wrong with that. And so SPX 43.80, Qs same action, not really, I don't need to go over this. And IWM, I just want to go over today. Just want to share something here. on IWM. I saw this somebody's technical chart online. You know, when I do a lot of research, I do come across some good technicals that people have drawn, and some guy just drew this narrative right here, and I'm gonna draw it for you guys as well, right? And I found it really helpful. You know, this right here, this zone, understand the movement of this zone, what happened, and then compare this with this, what happened here. All right. So just know and see. Let's see if the market follows through this to a downside, or we hold above here and we rip up, right? And IWM is also approaching the 50 MA resistance, and the other indices are also approaching resistance. Many stocks in the market are just sitting at 50 or 200 MA or getting rejected by it, right? So which way does the market go from here? Let's see, right? What else? VIX is high, means volatility remains. If VIX is high, you guys need to understand volatility will be there, so volatility remains. If VIX really starts falling a lot, then volatility obviously dies a little bit. But volatility will be high with VIX down so much. And then we have Best Buy. Best Buy is up pre-market. So let's just go over the Best Buy chart. Their earnings weren't, I think, that impressive, but they're still up pre-market, right? They're still up pre-market. But let's just go over the weekly. So the daily, they're above the 50 MA. Let's just go over the weekly. Okay, so a very choppy zone, right? A huge run up. You know, last year when Best Buy was breaking out, a huge run up, and then one candle all it took was, and then here on the weekly, this is a very big bear flag. This is a very big bear flag. Don't forget this. This is a very big bear flag, right? So if Best Buy fails to hold 100, 102 level today, if it breaks, it's probably gonna give up all the gains, actually go towards 90. All right, so just keep that in mind. And if it holds above here, if it starts building a base around these levels, then in the coming weeks, if the market is strong and hold, then it can definitely make a move up on the weekly basis. But definitely for the last 3 years, a lot of choppiness here. And don't forget, this stock went up a lot in the pandemic. The question is, can they hold on to their growth? Can they hold on to those same numbers? If they cannot in the coming earnings, then the stock's going to take a dump again. All right, just keep that in mind. Snowflake had earnings. Snow is down about $50 pre-market. Now they made some comments. I'm just gonna remove my drawings from the past. They made some comments in the you know, on their earnings, which I just read pre-market today. Yesterday I did not follow up with it because I wanted to see the pre-market action. Their comments were, now there's product revenue growth is slowing, which is a huge negative for the stock. Right, when they make a comment like this, the stock is probably done until next earnings. What I mean by done, it might not move too much. Based on the valuation, it might go up, down, just stay in a choppy range in my opinion. All right. And then their revenue growth is the slowest since 2019. And when your revenue growth is the slowest after 2-3 years, and you make a comment like our revenue growth has slowed more, and you give a weak outlook, then the market's not gonna like that, right? Why would they invest in you, right? And then they also bought a Streamlit company for $800 million. Now, I'm not no expert on the fundamentals or acquisitions and stuff like that, I'll be honest with you guys, but as much as I understand, some common sense, now the market is probably going to wait. How does this new company that they're spending $800 million on, how is that going to perform? Because many times in the past, companies that acquire other companies, they usually get stuck for a long time, right? Because this new management, they're going to end up spending more money on managing whatnot, doing so many things. And then until those companies settle, then finally they start seeing some good numbers on earnings, and will that help the company, right? So Snow, for a long time, I think it may be done. The only time I would look at this stock for long is maybe if it gets back above 270, 280, right? And this right here was a clear indication that there was a lot of weakness above these levels. When you get these long wicks continuous, like 2-3 times to a top side, and the stock's unable to hold, that's a major red flag right away. All right, and then here I think it just broke support now. It was closing lower, unable to hold the gains. Very indecisive action for the last 1 to a few weeks. And earnings, it just dropped. And personally for me today, if you ask me what's going to happen with it, I don't know. Maybe it's going to dump, maybe it's going to recover, maybe the stream likes it, somebody might like it, find value, and maybe it goes up all day, right? But for 3 to 4 weeks, I would not touch it. Anytime there's a major gap down on stocks, I've learned in the last 1-2 years that it's best to avoid for 3 to 4 weeks at least, and then see how it settles. Apple held great on the weekly, is great, but one thing that I do want to point out to you guys is don't ignore these wicks. These closing wicks, don't ignore them. That's a lot of selling pressure. That's people getting rid of shares here. Don't ignore this. This candle is gonna, right now in the market, you can look at this stock in this manner right here, that there's probably a lot of demand and whatnot, right? There's a lot of demand. It's gonna go up or whatever may happen here. That's great. It's gonna hold a trend line. I can draw some bullish signals for Apple to go up, right? I can give you guys all these justifications that you should go long Apple, whatnot. But at the same time, I understand the factors from the outside, geopolitical it is, or maybe interest rates, maybe FOMC, OPEC, whatever it may be. The only time I would look at Apple for long if it continues holding above 175, 176 with solid base above it, where I want to see buying strength at the end of the day. But here in this chop, I would rather pass it, right? This is not a long or a short. It's just a matter of seeing what's going to happen here, right? I collected some premium by selling these, call strikes above, bear call spreads. They worked great. And now I just want to see what Apple's going to do, all right? So it's a major part of the indices, and let's see what happens. Amazon also on the weekly so far indecisive, right? Let's see what happens here. This weekly action reminds me of snow. I'm not saying Amazon's gonna go on a gap down, but I think they're gonna tag this 200 moving average on the weekly. I think I could be wrong, but if the market holds and runs, then obviously Amazon will also lead to the upside as well. But there's a possibility in the coming weeks that we tag the 200 MA. This does not make me bearish or anything. This is just a part of the process of chart. Maybe the entire market runs and Amazon comes down, right? Or maybe if Amazon once it reclaims above 3,400, 3,500, then I'll look at 2023 calls maybe, right? But here in between, we are at support and resistance. It's a tug of war. Which way does it go? Let's wait and find out. Goldman Sachs, LB called, I think picked the bottom here yesterday on the calls on the Goldman Sachs. I'll just go on the daily. He took some profits yesterday, I know, and he may be holding some. Right, he scales out a lot. So if you are holding Goldman Sachs and banks with him, it's up pre-market. Manage your profits. Don't wait for his exit. He knows what he's going to do with his. You should know what you're going to do with yours, right? Every account is different. So Goldman Sachs, I think, is a great call. And then we are headed towards resistance near 345, 350. So just watch it out. And today, if the market holds and rips, maybe the banks do get a little bounce, right? Goldman Sachs was sold from almost 400 plus towards 330. So a little bounce is probably I think it's coming, maybe another 5, 10, 15 points, and then we see how the market holds. All right, so don't forget to take your profits on Goldman Sachs. That was a great call. And then we have, what else we have here? And then American Express, AXP. If you're holding your puts, we have the puts from the top tick from 195, 194. What happens here, I have no idea, right? But usually on a big red day like this, on a big selling with volume actually opening lower, it's usually a sign for more continued lower side, right? So AXP definitely, once it breaks below 50 MA, I think, and holds underneath 50 MA, the 200 MA on the daily will be the next support, which happens to be around 170, right? So around 170 on AXP. But we caught this move from here. It's a beautiful play. Congrats if you caught it. So AXP, that's that. And then Tesla, I'll just quickly go over. Tesla is funny. I was thinking the other day, in the same day, people make money on calls and puts. We may be entering calls and puts at the same time, and both end up making money, right? So sometimes it's just having a conviction in your play. And the other day, I think LB made money on his call. We made money on our puts, and that's trading, right? And so we all have our own perspective sometimes. But at the end of the day, as long as you stick with what you know and it goes well, and so Tesla on the daily, I think, is holding, but there's a lot of supply and demand here, man. This 900 zone is not going to be easy for Tesla to take out. I think there's going to be in for a lot of demand and supply zone. So if we do reach here, a lot of scalping opportunities will arise. I don't think it gets right to 900. So if we do get to 900 today, I will look to or maybe 920. The top of this resistance right here, I'll give you guys a number. If we get 900 touch will be the first, I think, psychological level. But this right here, if we get right here, which happens to be roughly 918, so 919 is our number in MSL that we follow a lot, 919 and 926. All right, so Tesla, if it gets here, I think we can have some put scalps on this, right? 919, then we have 948, which is also our number in MSL that we follow. Well, not ours, but it's the technical numbers. And then we got the one right here, which is roughly 926-ish, around here. All right, so if Tesla gets into this zone, a lot of scalps will be done on voice chat, and I will probably likely focus on Tesla. Why even go anywhere else, right? Because there's a lot of supply demand here, so a lot of choppiness, what I'm trying to say. With this, guys, just manage your accounts, manage well, right? If you're having green days, congrats, just protect your gains. The only reason Goldman Sachs, Platinum Sachs in our group, or myself, or T, Love, admins, the only reason we tell you to protect your gains is because we've been through the best and the worst in this market, right? I have at least been through a lot of worst times. I don't lie. I'm very transparent about it. That's fine, right? Last year I learned a big lesson from Baba, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I learned a lot of things, right? I was very bullish, not bullish on China, but I was trying to find bottoms. But who expected Baba to go to 100 from 300? Man, I took a heavy hit last year, but it's all good. Anyways, back to stocks. I'll see you guys in the chat. God bless. Manage. Stay positive.